Ooh, daddy, look at this. That is one thick frame of honey. So I think these bees are ready to have their honey stolen from them by me. I'm going to take that frame out and see how thick it is. Holy mackerel, look at that, look at it. Well, there's the wood, and this here, anyway, that's all honey on there. All that stuff bulging out is honey. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 frames in the top of this super. And I got them spread out pretty thick. And you can see they're filling in that space with honey. So, cool. So this is one of the hives that I went with a 9-frame brood nest this year, just as an experiment. Because I heard that I saw a beekeeper in Manitoba who does this, and he says it's easier to remove the frames, and it is because there's so much space, and it gives the bees extra ventilation and extra place to congregate, and not so the bees don't swarm as much. And this colony didn't fill in the extra space with comb, but I had some other ones that did. But now it's near the end of the year, and you can see. I can't see it, but anyway, you can see right here, there's a bit of comb, a bit of burr comb going on there, or bridge comb, whatever you want to call it. So they do eventually fill it in. So I don't think I'm going to do this next year. I'll do it if I can get thin frames. There's different types of frames you can get too. Like, I don't know, you can't really see it. I should do a video about this someday. But there's different frames from different manufacturers have different widths. And the width might only be like 2 or 3 millimeters less in some frames, but that 2 or 3 millimeters over 10 frames gives you enough space so that the frames aren't just packed in there. And the original frames that I got when I bought my hives, they were thick frames, and you get 10 in and they're packed. 10 are just packed right in pretty hard and heavy, and so it makes it difficult to remove the frames without disturbing the bees, whereas this extra space definitely gives me more wiggle room. Anyhow, it's not a total disaster either. There is some comb down on the edges here, but it's not a lot. Well, though I have had other colonies that just completely filled it in, right? So it's a cool idea, though I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with it. So what I've done with this hive is I've taken the top 2 honey boxes. That's a box of honey. It weighs a ton. And that's a box of honey, and it weighs a ton. So that's great. And now this colony too, number 12. I happen to get these bees from the Newfoundland Bee Company, and I gotta say, I love this colony. I love these bees. Next year, if I do any splits, I'm probably gonna make a split out of this colony because I just love the genetics. I love this queen. I love these bees. They don't need smoke. They've never been aggressive. They've never been defensive. Really nice, and obviously making tons of honey for me too. So, number 12, you're gonna get reproduced. Anyhow, I'm adding an escape board to this hive today. The escape board, if you don't know, is a board that you put on the hives between the boxes, and you put it underneath the honey supers. And what happens is the bees go down this little hole. Then they come out through the hole there, and then they crawl through this triangular maze, and then they go down into the main brood nest, but then they can't find their way back up through this maze and back into the honey. And so over 2 or 3 days, all the bees will go down. So theoretically, they'll go down into the brood nest, and then you can just easily remove the bees from the honey, and just it's not a problem. But I've harvested honey without this, but right now there's just so many bees, I just don't want to mess with them. This is cool. Look how dark that honey is. Looking forward to harvesting that and eating that up. Alright, I'm putting the escape board on this hive too. And check out one of the frames that's coming out of it. This is a full foundationless frame, what some people like to call comb honey. And it's pure honeycomb. The bees built wax or comb completely inside this frame. Nothing but, no plastic, no nothing, just this is all the work of the bees, and look at that. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful comb honey. And I'm taking that today, right now. I don't need to use an escape board to get that. I got it right now. All right, old number 11 here. Hasn't made much honey. These bees have always been slightly defensive as well. They're not defensive right now, but they do get easily defensive for some reason. It might be because they're living under this tree. But they're not making as much honey. This hive down there that with the bee escape board on it there with the two mediums on top of it, that's got basically two mediums of honey. This one's got probably like 1.5. I got one up there, and then in the second one there's probably another, I don't know, 3 or 4 frames, and below there's probably actually a lot more, but I don't want to mess with them. I think I'm just gonna take that one that I know is just full of mostly capped honey, and this one's got actually some brood in it too. And once I've done that, once I've removed that box, I'll wait a while, and then I'll look into this box, maybe go down, and maybe I'll just steal 10 frames from wherever I can in the hive. I don't use queen excluder, so I've got brood everywhere, and pollen and all kinds of stuff. But I don't mind that. I'm trying that out because I don't like dealing with swarms. It's just one extra thing I don't need to deal with. I know I have to deal with them from time to time, but I think removing the queen excluder lowers the risks of that. I know a guy just down the road who his colonies were swarming all the time. Like they must have had a genetic predisposition to swarm, and they were swarming every weekend. He was just having no fun with that at all. Like he was finding swarm cells, and then he removed the queen excluders and they stopped swarming. There's no more swarm cells. So it definitely is a thing. I've talked to other beekeepers about that, and some will say, oh no, you just got to monitor them closely. But I don't want to monitor my bees closely. When my bees are making honey, I just want to leave them alone, let them do their thing, and not worry about them whether they're going to swarm or not. So yeah, all the escape boards are on. This one has, I'm going to get one medium out of this one, 2 mediums out of that one. Looks like only 1 medium up that one, on that one up there on the hill. I might get another one though. I just have to check deeper in the hive. And this one isn't getting I'm not doing anything with this one. I probably could get a medium out of it, but I'll check on it later on. Whew. And man, I tell you, those medium boxes, when they're full of honey, they just weigh a ton. And up there was really bad because I was up on a hill on an incline and trying to. It's a lot easier when they're just you're flat on a flat surface like a pallet or just flat ground. But when you got to maneuver around an incline, that was hard. Anyhow, now I've got to plug up the holes because these mediums, they got holes in them. So I got to plug the holes up, or else those escape boards aren't going to do anything. I'm not sure if the camera is picking this up. This is all the seeds coming from the fireweed just floating away.